We complain about a lot of things here.
It's not complaining. It's more of like, really?
Yeah, lots of misinformation. People really like being misinformed about social justice. Um, it has to be a hobby, I swear. So quote, if Black Lives Matter, then all lives must not matter as much.
Okay, that one's a little personal to me. When I ever hear or see people correct Black Lives Matter to All Lives Matter, the point of Black Lives Matter is not to say that it matters more. It's the fact that our current justice system has forgotten that. It's terrifying. Like when I think of my boyfriend, he's black, and when I think of him walking home, I'm scared that he's going to get shot by a cop. If he were white, I wouldn't have that big of a fear. When I say Black Lives Matter, I do not mean Black Lives Matter more. I mean Black Lives Matter too. I had to sit down and explain to someone that even though people can get married in all of America right now, you can still be fired for being gay. You can have your wedding Saturday, get fired Monday, and you can lose your home Tuesday.
Yeah.
That is a thing that is actually happening. More women are playing video games than ever before, and that is including mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
I am very tired of hearing, oh, it's just casual games are not important, and just saying, oh, they're not really gamers. Me playing a stupid game on my phone is me being a gamer. Yes?
I have not slept lost an entire night of sleep before I had to go to work. I spent $700 on my app to not be called a real gamer. $700 is important.
Yeah.
It's a real game to me.
Yeah.
You were talking about underrepresentation in media.
Yeah.
What about Oracle, Professor X, Black Panther, Static Shock, Luke Cage, Blade, old Frank Miller, Green Arrow with one arm? I mean, that's a lot of disabled people of color.
Yeah,
it's great that you can list off those many people, but there's still the issue that if you look at current shows now, there's not a lot. The fact that you have to have shows, if there are 3 people of color on it, it has to be a black show or it has to be an Asian show instead of just a normal show. When you think of the show Friends, it's just, oh, that's just a normal show. If I think of a show like
Green Arrow with Diggle and the chick in the wheelchair.
I'm saying, we're not saying there's no representation out there. There definitely is.
Yeah.
But we're looking for more and better. Here, she had a question.
I saw a post on Tumblr recently. It was why are you complaining that not many black people won the Nobel Prize? Here's the list of them. It's if you can list them, that's the problem. You can't list all the white people. You can't list all the white movies because there's so many of them. If you can list all of the people of color movies and disabled movies, that obviously means that there aren't enough of them because they're just normalized as they should be.
If you can make a short list of every black person who's won an Oscar, but you can't even begin to list all the white people who list an Oscar, something's wrong.
Also, gay and faggot are also are often used towards bad players, which is harmful to queer masculine people. Because in that case, queer equals lesser. Don't use it. Please don't.
Please don't. Correct your friends when they do. Because a lot of times, it's also one of the things of gaining privilege. If I'm trying to tell a very sexist man how he is sexist, he's not going to listen to me because I'm a woman. But if a man tells him something, he might actually listen to it. And that's one of the things of being a good ally and using your own privilege is sort of just, you're able to access people that we can't.
So tropes, horrible, but awesome at the same time. So, bury your gays. Bury your gays means that if there's a queer character, never going to have a happy ending. They're going to die of, they're going to either die of cancer or they're going to die of age-related complications, which is actually really messed up. Trans people are often fetishized in the nerd community. This causes trans people to be invisible in the community. So, examples. I'm not going to explain what it is, but I'm going to say the name, Futanari. So, a lot of people conflate that with trans people. I'm sorry.
It's sort of like you're reducing a human being to a sex object. You're reducing someone's identity to a sex object. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard, you're the first black girl I've ever put my phone. I'm like, okay, bye. Get out of my life, please. I'm not going to be your first black girl. I'm not going to be your special, oh, you're the first black. No. I'm an actual human being. I'm not a sex object. I can be sexy, but I'm not a sex object. There was a recent thing about a Garnet cosplayer who was, I'm pretty sure, my complexion, and she painted her skin dark brown and wore an afro wig. And a lot of people's like, well, that can't be blackface, she's just cosplaying. It's like, well, one, Garnet's like maroon and not even brown. And two, what you saw was a black person cosplaying Garnet and decided that the skin color was part of your costume. Like if someone cosplays as Velma, like from Scooby-Doo, you know it's Velma. If someone cosplays as Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black, you can tell who they are without painting your skin brown.
So, harassment. So I actually did a lot of research about this, and there was a lot of research done about this recently. Men and women have equal levels of non-violent harassment, such as death threats and sexual assault threats. However, women who face harassment actually have many more consequences, and what was it? I actually wrote it down. Stalking. Women who are more likely to be stalked because of activities in video gaming. More likely to be physically assaulted because of video gaming. This is specifically video gaming, and more likely to die. That's pretty intense. Like, I'd rather get death threats. Like,
Yours are empty. When it's toward me, they're real.
yeah. Lack of content warnings for people with PTSD. And this is seen as social justice run amok. Like, PTSD is not just for military people. People who have been sexually assaulted have over a 50% chance to develop PTSD. And another big statistic, Detroit, 90% of the people in Detroit qualify as having a traumatic experience that could give them PTSD. It's a lot more common than you think.
Trauma. The T stands for trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between, like, okay, a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's just a spoiler or whatever. It's like, no, it's actually protecting someone. Like, okay, there's an episode of Orange is the New Black where there is a very graphic scene that deals with something that I was not personally comfortable, and there is no trigger warning, and I only found out because someone else told me beforehand, and I was like, okay, the way they handled it, they still had the scene, but at least everything after, you didn't need to see the scene to see what happened.
Mm-hmm. And, like, the thing is, like, does everyone remember, this following program contains graphic depictions of blah, 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 blah.
Like violence and whatever.
Viewer discretion is advised. That's a content warning.
There it is.
Like, it doesn't have to be putting CW in a post and putting all these things. It doesn't have to be putting CW in a title card. Like, content warnings have existed before people started putting CW in a Facebook post. Michaela and I have two very different intersections of identity, but does that mean that one of us is more oppressed than the other? No. One of us more privileged than the other? Not really. Like
I could list off everything. Like, I am a woman, I'm black, I'm bisexual. I experience oppression because of that, but I'm also white passing.
Yeah.
I look very white. My name, Michaela, can be a very white name. It's not considered a black name or a ghetto name or whatever you want to put on it. Like, I still experience that.
And it's important to understand that, like, oppression doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like, every oppression is like, important. You know, just because somebody doesn't experience what you experience doesn't mean it's not important. And it goes the same for you. Like, Michaela's not agendered, and does that mean that, like, I'm more oppressed than her and can, like, silence her? Of course not. That's awful. So, understand that people who maybe like you can be vastly different. Two queer people can be very different. Be a good ally. We can all be allies with someone because not everyone's 100% oppressed or privileged, but maybe some are, and if you are, you're lucky and you have a lot of work cut out for you if you want to be a good ally. Choose what you want to fight for and make it a good one. It's okay not to fight for everything because it's definitely people fighting for it. There's a lot in social justice. Don't overburden yourself. Educate yourself. Don't let all of your knowledge be gained from someone explaining your mistakes. Please, like, learn what Trans 101 is. Learn what Gay 101 is. Learn what Queer 101 is. Like, if you are interested in a topic, look it up. Don't wait for someone to correct you on it. Be willing to admit that you're wrong. Sometimes, like, I'm white. Sometimes I can say something that can be considered racist. Am I going to be like, oh my god, I'm horrible? No.
Here, wait.
Sorry.
A good example of this is getting someone's pronouns wrong.
Yeah.
in the moment, all they want you to do is say sorry and leave it. You do not need to make a 20-minute speech about how you're a terrible person, because then you're taking a moment that was essentially about them and making it about yourself. If you get someone's pronouns wrong, say sorry, correct yourself, move on.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. So you can be wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. What matters is what you do afterwards.